Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Welcome to Love Audio's YouTube channel. My name is Paul Webber. Great to be here today and great to have you along as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, please type new in the comments. We'd love to see you. And for those who have been around for a while, please make the newcomers feel extra special welcome. Now, what is Love Audio Production all about? It basically is a safe, fun, friendly, and hopefully entertaining platform for you to learn the basics in audio production. So if you guys are on board with that, give it a big thumbs up and let's get going. And as we normally do, we say hi to some people at the very beginning. So hello to Sammy Superstar saying, hey, Paul. Hello to you. Thank you very much indeed for tuning in. Hello, mate, is his usual greeting from across the pond. So we'll put that up there as well. Hello, mate. Glad you're here today. Now, what I wanted to do was today talk about stems. As you may have seen from the thumbnail that I put up a little earlier on, mixing with stems today. We're going to go through, what exactly is a stem? What does it mean, and how do we use that in our mixes, and how can we get better at kind of moving those things around and stuff like that, okay? So, yeah, without further ado, I'm going to dive straight into it and let you take a look at my desktop, which has currently got the an instance of Studio One 5 Pro. That's from Presonus. And if I do that, you should be able to see that on the screen right now. Now, apologies if it's a little small on your screen. I will try and zoom in as we go closer to the WAV files that we're talking about here. I just wanted to pay particular attention to the title. So let me just go to full screen on the desktop, and you'll see that there. So we've got, from top to bottom, we've got drums. So we've got a drum roll crash. We've got synth drums, which is part of the jingle that we're mixing here. We've got timpani, which of course is the kind of big drums that you get. You've got orchestra hits on there. You've got electric guitar, guitar slide into melody, 1, 2. So there's 3 sections of that. Keys and guitar, synth bass line, synth lead, some horns, some sparkle. Got electric piano on there. You've got electric piano with strings twice, and you've got the full backing track at the very end. So I'm actually going to mute that one. And we'll be soloing up some of these other tracks to listen to them as we go along. Now, these tracks are basically what we're talking about when we say stems. So when we say stems, what we mean is parts of the song, or parts of the jingle in this case, that have been pre-produced, and we drag them in as stems. Now, you can do this. If you click on the link that's in the video description below, you'll find a link there to Epidemic Sound. If you've not yet signed up for them, I thoroughly encourage you to do so. Epidemic Sound also have a way of you importing the stems from their audio that you can use on your live streams. And so in other words, instead of just bringing in the full WAV file, so the full backing track in our case here, what you do is you could bring in the stems and have those as separate files if you wanted to. If you didn't want so much percussion, perhaps you just wanted some lead guitar or whatever it might be, then you can use those as stems. And that's exactly what a stem is. A stem really is what we call a track. So in this particular mix, as I've just shown you on there on the screen, we've got 18 tracks in total. And what I'm going to do as well is enable the DAW mode on my mixing desk so that I can control the volume of each of those 18 tracks right in front of me as we're going through today's little challenge. Okay, so let's just take a quick look at that. That's absolutely fine. There we go. Okay, if you are in, by the way, and you've not yet said hello, make sure you say hi, and we'll make you feel very welcome indeed. I have just got to say hello to some people. Give me 2 seconds while I bring this up on my phone. I don't want to get the names wrong. So give me a couple of seconds. I'm going to search that and go to start. There we go. Okay, so I want to say hello to Ollie111. New subscriber to the channel, so thank you very much indeed for subscribing. Brulafu has subscribed as well. Thank you very much indeed, Bruce. Brilliant to see you. Bardur Liederson has subscribed. Thank you very much indeed. Lewis Campoverde, I think I've hopefully pronounced that correctly, Lewis. Please do tell me if I've got that wrong. But Lewis, hello to you, and thank you so much again for subscribing. Edgar Larios has subscribed as well, so a big thank you very much indeed. And also hi to Andrew Maldonado. I think it's Maldonado. I hope I pronounced that again correctly. Remo Spezza as well. Thank you very much indeed. And Joanne Gillard as well. Thank you so much for subscribing. So it really helps the channel no end by you doing that. So thank you very much indeed. And when you do subscribe, make sure you click the bell icon and give the video a thumbs up as well if you're enjoying that. Must say hello to Rich Vibes. Thank you so much indeed. Hope you got my message earlier, my friend, and hope all is well with you. So yeah, we're talking about stems this evening. So I want to just go over to this side of the screen, not that one there. You want to see that, which is Presonus Studio One 5 Pro. Now, this is going to be very similar if you've got a similar DAW such as Audacity or something more pro like Adobe Premiere, for instance. You also got things like Logic. You've also got GarageBand will do a similar sort of thing. You know, all these kind of things are what we call DAWs, Digital Audio Workstations. That's what DAW stands for. And what we've done here is we've imported 18 stems for this particular jingle that we're going to be listening to this evening. We haven't added any vocal tracks to it yet. I might do that at the end, depending on how vocal I feel. And I've got a cold sore. Look at that. That's not good, is it? It's almost like having a zit in the middle of your face. Look, it looks like I've been smacked in the face. It's just I can't explain it. I don't know where it's come from or how it suddenly happened or whatever, but yeah, it's just not a good look. So ignore that anyway. You're going to pay attention to that all night, aren't you? Well, I can probably go like that and just show you the full screen, which is good. So let's dive in. Let's quickly take a look here and just put that up on screen currently, and we'll get. Oh, Wayne's in as well. Hi, Paul. Great subject choice. Thank you very much indeed. Rich is saying hello. Thank you. No problem at all, Rich. Thank you very much indeed. And Wayne's there as well. So we've said hello to everybody so far. If you are joining partway through, then that's absolutely fine. We're just going to dig into this and carry on. So what I've got at the top here, I want to just mute some of these or solo some of these at the top. So what we have at the beginning here, I'm going to play this to you now. Everything else is muted, as you can see on there. Anything with an M indicates that that's all muted. Okay, I can mute the whole lot. I can mute that and solo that. I can solo that. Take that off of mute, and I can solo the whole lot if I wanted to. All that kind of thing. So, you know, we're going to play around with that as we go through. But what I want to do is basically solo each track in turn, and you can hear what that is designed to do. But first of all, let me just go to this camera here, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with the desk. So if I'm going to angle the camera down towards the desk, like so, what I do is press the DAW button. You can't quite see it. It's just off camera there. Can you see it? It's going to reach. It's going to reach. It's just, oh God, the microphone things. It's just there on the desk. Okay, this is upside down. I realize that, but I'm going to press it now. Watch what happens to the faders. Okay, so all those are snapped into place, and those represent the faders or the channels rather on my desktop. Okay, so let's put the camera back where it should be, like so. Oops, there we go. Okay, that should be about right. Pretty central. Okay, so what we're going to do is play via the desk itself. I can actually play the desk thing here. So there you've got a drum roll. It's an electronic drum roll there. So, and that's the first track that we've listened to. So that's the first stem, if you will. We'll go back to the beginning. So that's the first stem in our production. Okay, that's one of 18. So I'm going to mute. Let's look here. Let's go to there. And I'm going to just quickly mute everything else and just solo the synth drums, which you'll hear now. Okay, now bearing in mind, all of these tracks make up the actual jingle itself, okay? And, you know, in solo, they sound absolutely ridiculous, don't they? But, you know, you'll get the hang of it as we go through. So I'm going to unsolo that, and I'm going to solo the timpani. Now, timpani, of course, is the kind of, you know, the big orchestral drums that you hear on certain things. So this sounds like... And again, that's been tuned to match the jingle, okay? So when we play that back, you'll be able to hear all of that. Okay, so those are our drums so far, and what I'm going to do is solo the top three so you can hear them all together. Here we go. Okay, now they might not all be lined up yet, so we're going to play around with that as we go through this evening's show, okay? So again, I'm going to unsolo those, and we're going to go to the orchestral hits. So this is the first one. just 2 notes on that particular track. And then we're going to unmute, or rather solo the next one. So you're starting to get the theme of the jingle itself. So if I bring the drums in with that as well, and play all 4 or 5 of those tracks, you start to get to hear how the jingle's put together. Now, of course, this isn't mixed properly yet, so a lot of it's louder than it should be. Okay, so we're going to bring that back to the beginning, and I'm going to unsolo all of those, and then solo the electric guitar. So have a listen to this. Okay, so that's a guitar slide, and just a couple of notes after it. And then the next track down, you'll notice it's slide into melody. So have a listen to that. Interesting. So you're starting to get the sound of the jingle now itself, and I think the second track down is probably the same sort of thing, so let's listen to that. Just a bit more emphasis on some of those beats. Okay, and probably that's going to be pretty similar as well, so let's have a listen to that. And you've got some bass in there as well, I've noticed. So what they've done is they've brought a synth bass in there as well, and I'll play that for you in a second or two. We're going to scroll down to keys and electric guitar there this time. This is track 10. So less harsh and just, some electric keyboards. And a little bit of electric guitar behind there as well with those 3 notes that he played earlier. Bam, 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 like that, yeah? Okay, that's getting very repetitive. I know, my apologies. But it is a jingle, so it's going to be fairly short. You get that, don't you? So this next one is the synth bass line. Have a listen to this. So nice and fat, it's way up there. Okay, it's coming up on track 14 on my desk, but it's not. So I can play around with that and give you the volume as well, which is cool on the faders. Okay, so that's that. The next one is the synth lead. You probably heard a little bit of that in the earlier part of the jingle, so let's play that. More like a kind of a horn sound, if you will. Okay, the next one down is Synth Horns. I've labelled it Synth Horns. It's not quite Synth Horns, to be fair, but you can get the idea. It kind of is, and it's got a bit of distortion on there as well. We're going to treat that in a minute, but I just wanted to play that because that came in as that. So, got a little bit of a buzz on my right ear. I don't know if it's the same where you are listening in stereo. Of course, you may be able to hear that, but I'm hopefully going to give that some treatment, and we should be able to eliminate that harshness at the end of that thing because it does kind of grate on you. But in the grand scheme of things, you won't notice it in the jingle mix, but now's the time to do that and to kind of make those changes whilst you're going along before you get to the final mix. Okay, so if you notice an anomaly with the music that you've got in from those stems, and you think actually that doesn't quite sound right, now is the time to be able to correct that. Okay, so we'll do that in a second too. We'll just finish off these few tracks so you can hear how the thing is composed. So this one's called, I just labelled it Sparkle. It's really, really high synth. That's all it is, really, on that one. Excuse me. And then the next track down is an electric piano track. Okay, so let's play that from the beginning. You can hear that very clearly being electric piano. The next track down is electric piano and strings. So I'm going to play that. So they've mixed that with some synthesized strings as well. And just a very slight variation of that on track 17. Just a bit more reverb, really, I guess. Okay, so now what we need to do is to kind of line everything up, really, because you may notice that some of it's a kind of a bit dog-legged. So what I want to do is to line everything up, make sure it matches properly. You notice that down here, particularly where these larger bits are, that's where the end of the jingle is, if you will. So some of those don't actually line up properly. So what I'm going to do is zoom into those and try and get them lined up as best as I can visually. Okay, I haven't got snap to grid on because I'm using a time base of seconds. Oh no, I'm using bars, aren't I? But having said that, they won't snap to the bar because we haven't done the timing properly anyway. So that's probably not going to work. So let me just try and get these into line. Let me just have a quick listen to the drum roll crash. Okay, interesting. So where that crash is, there. Where is it? It's gone now. Hang on. There we go. Stop. Okay, so just there, where that's where the crash is. Okay, so I think that that's a good starting point. Having said that, everything else looks really good here in this middle section. So I think if we work to that and bring everything back into line, then that should be a lot better when we come to play the whole thing back. So I'm just doing this visually currently. And that might not work. Let me just have a quick listen to that. Yeah, see that jumps. So let's bring that crash into line with those last drums. And then that should work a lot better. So let's go back to the beginning again. Play that. Yeah, that pretty much matches up, doesn't it? Which is cool. Okay, so going down the line then, let's have a look at these. So these are just about right, I would think. Let's just zoom in a little bit more. Actually, not quite that much. And then these are like way out. So I'm bringing those into line again. So underneath that red track, that light blue there, and also that one just slightly in. And this is being done visually, by the way. Sometimes, if you had a grid properly, then you could bring that in via the grid, of course, and have it like a straight line down there. And that would be fine. I can actually view the grid lines, couldn't I? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Songs, project, shows, editor, console, inspector, blah, blah, blah. Track list. Time display. No, that's okay. Windows, no. Zoom. Yeah, we can zoom in, can't we? Let's have a look. Yeah, no, I didn't want to do that really. That's too much. I want to view grid lines. How do I do that? Transport, audio. Let's have a look here. Event, track, song. Edit. Okay. Let's have a look. Let's go to the end here and go help. Maybe not. Video one. Options. Let's go to options. See if we can do that. Audio setup is fine. General appearance. There we go. Score. Shortcuts network. No. Locations. No. That's fine. That's all something else. The setup we've already done. That's fine. Let's close that out. Okay. So we're just going to play the first few tracks to see how badly out the timing is. Okay. There we go. Now, as I mentioned, it's not mixed properly yet, so there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of noise going on as well. And it won't be that loud when we come to the final mix. So let's just finish off getting these tracks in line with what we're looking at here. So I'll bring that slightly that way, and slightly that way as well. And then that one is pretty much as it is. That's okay as well, I would say. That one needs to go that way a little touch, maybe. Like that. The sparkle can probably stay where it is. Let me have a listen to that in its... Yeah, maybe bring that in a bit. Oops, not want to do that. Sorry. Let's try that again. Not quite sure if that's working or not. Let me just take out some of this other stuff. A bit too noisy, so I can't hear what's going on. Yeah, that's way out, isn't it? So let's bring that back. There. comes in where that jingle does, doesn't it? So it should be quite far back. Let's try that again. Yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's going to be swallowed up by everything else, isn't it? So it doesn't necessarily have to be as accurate as everything else. Let's just move that back a little bit there and bring that in as well. That's the electric piano. That kind of works, doesn't it? Okay. All right, so we're nearly there on the kind of getting everything lined up, if you will. So let's bring that back slightly. Lines up, and that one as well. Okay, cool. So if we mute that, let's unsolo everything and just mute the final track. What we've got here now is everything apart from the full backing track. That seems to be lining up okay. What I don't like is the long tail on the top, the kind of drum roll crash, if you will. So this one. But that's okay. What we can do is zoom into that. So let me just get that further onto the screen so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so let's try and work out where we need it. Round about. Do it again, sorry. Round about there, I reckon. That should be plenty, to be fair. Let's solo. Oh, I've got that muted anyway. Let's listen to the thing. Yeah, that's the only thing that's playing. Just want to see if there's any other reverb going on. Right about there. So just after bar 3, maybe, yeah, let's stop it at bar 3. Okay, so what I want to do is just cut there and then use the eraser tool to get rid of the bit I don't want. It's got a hard ending now there currently, but what I can do, if you watch this a second, hang on a sec, so we're going to... let's have a look here. Oh, I don't want to do that. It does make the visuals a little bit easier to see, which is good. But what I wanted to do was to... Oops. Where are we? No, I don't want to do that, do I? What I want to do is make the tracks wider. So... tiny. There we go. So let's go with... Come on. There we go. Tiny. Let's drop down menu. Nothing coming up. There we go. A medium. There we go. Perfect. Right, good. So now you can see what's going on, and we can actually line these up a lot better now. Now there's a bit more visual going on. They're all pretty much in line, aren't they? So what we did earlier on was a visual aspect of that, and looking at that, I'm pretty happy with how they line up, to be honest with you. So we didn't do a bad job on getting it visualized, considering I wear glasses. They are new, by the way, so I can see the screen really clearly. And like I said, there's a lot going on there currently, so there's a lot of noise that you wouldn't necessarily hear in the full mix. So we're going to mix that properly. And looking down, to be fair, most of it's in line. There's a couple of things down at this bottom end that I'm not entirely happy with. If I go there, for instance, where that line is, you can see that that's just slightly out. So I would literally expand that a little bit and then just gently nudge it, because we haven't got snap to grid, so we're doing it manually. We're doing that line there. And that one there is just slightly too early. You see that? So I mean, you may think that we're you know, what they call splitting hairs here, but you know, it's got to line up right, because otherwise it'll sound muddy and messy in the original mix. You know, so you know, it's better to kind of sort those kind of things out right now instead of later on. So that's pretty good. It does wave a little bit, doesn't it? Actually, to be fair, in the middle. You know, if I put the line there, for instance. Yeah, there's a couple of things that don't quite line up. So, for instance, if I move that just slightly that way, okay, and then this one probably as well. Oh, look. Yeah, it starts too early there, like you see. So move that slightly that way, and then play the whole thing. Now you hear that thing finishes too harshly, so we're going to go back to where that ends. It's up at the top, isn't it? Let's zoom in a bit so we can see it. There it is. Okay, so what we do is highlight that box there, this wave file, and you'll see that each of the corners have got triangles in. Now what you can do is if you wanted to fade in, you drag this one in, like so. Okay, that's a a gradual fade in. You can change the curvature of the fade in by dragging this square box, but I don't actually want to fade in. I want it to come in hard in at the beginning, but then out, I want it to fade out because I don't want it quite so long. And if I've made a mistake by cutting that stuff off, look, I can just drag it and it comes back again. So this is non-destructive editing, which is really good. Which means that even if you do make a mistake, you can literally drag that along and make it longer if you want, go back to there like it was. But we're looking at about 3.2 and then drag that out to there. So have a listen to this now. So the jingle will actually finish there, just maybe a little bit longer. Yeah, that's better. And in fact, we can probably make the fade a bit longer than that because it is just a crash, isn't it, at the end of the day? And there is something that's, I think it's the timpani, to be fair. It rolls on a bit as well, so that's probably giving a little bit of background as well. So, no, it actually it finishes earlier, so that's fine. So all of the rest I'm pretty happy with, to be fair. And they kind of look okay, so that's pretty good, I think. For a first mix. Now, obviously, now what we need to do is to make sure the levels are right, and that's what I'm going to be doing on the DAW section here. So if I bring up the mixer onto the screen, okay, and if I detach it, it brings it onto my bigger screen on the other side of the thing, but you can't see that. So if I bring that over, you can probably see that now. If I do that centrally like that, and then go to desktop, now you can see that whatever I do on the mixing desk, see these faders are wiggling? So we can play the jingle. And I can start mixing now by bringing these faders down. And bringing up what I need. So the drums are at the beginning. Okay. Okay, we've got a track missing. Let's have a look. Hang on. Something's really harsh, isn't it? Let's have a look. Bring that up. Bring these faders down. Okay, so let's just stop it there for a second. Otherwise, we'll get brain ache from listening to that jingle all the time. So I've snapped the mixer back into the section here, as you can see. But what I wanted to do was just make sure that you guys are okay in the chat. Let's just have a quick look here. So let's have a look here. Wayne says, "Hi Paul, great subject choice. Thank you very much." Rich says, "Yep, buzzing." Wayne Cole says, "Preferences, advanced event appearance." Wow, get you. Which is pretty cool. Why is that's an awful shot. Why is it all blurred? I don't know. Anyway, so Wayne says, there we go. Yeah, that's cool. I just wanted to make sure we've addressed all of that kind of stuff, which is brilliant. Apparently my current stream rate is 2.2661 kilobits per second, lower than the recommended bit rate. I'm sending you 4K, so I don't know what that's, not 4K, but 4,000 bits. So I don't know why it's coming up with that error message. But anyway, it's not a problem. Let's just get on with this. So I've been kind of moving these faders around, and it's obviously there's quite a bit of. So let's go on to there. So there's quite a bit of real estate going on here. So look, there's quite a lot of tracks going on with 18 tracks here. We don't need them all clearly because a lot of them are repeated. But you've got reverb and delay here as well, which is cool. So I can adjust the level of that as well from the mixer, which is brilliant. So look at reverb and delay. Yeah, so they've got that on there as well. So if I move those two, for instance, all of those tracks I can route to this bus, either reverb or delay, and then it's already routed to the main output, which is cool. So that's pretty good as well. And I haven't got anything routed to that yet. I could do all of it, but I don't really want to. I want to just see how things work so far. So drums are going to the main out. That's interesting. They are also being routed, by the looks of it, to the mix bus. Yes, they are. That's interesting. Okay, good. Oh, look, yeah, look, okay. So that's a mix bus for the drums only. Right, brilliant. Okay, interesting. So then I've got this one, which is the drum crash, and I've got the synth drums on this one. So if I wanted to, I can do this on the desk as well. So I can solo these up, and you'll notice that they start changing color because that's exactly what I've just done. So let's just play this from the beginning. Yes, you've got the synth as well there. That's quite harsh, isn't it? You've got the timpani in there as well with the dung 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 dung. Bring those synth things down as a little bit. We've got the electric guitar coming in now. This one. I'm having to page over because I've got so many tracks. Okay. So yeah, that's the full jingle done as regards to the mixing on the desk. Just a rough audio mix, as I say. Getting those right, of course, is very important. Let's just try that one more time. Yeah. Okay, so we've kind of done what we need to do on that particular one. I haven't added any vocals to it yet, obviously. If anybody can come up with some lyrics, then maybe I can sing that into a couple of new tracks, and maybe we can get it on. Who knows? But yeah, happy to do that. Why is my camera not focusing? That's really weird. Hang on. Oh wow. Okay, there you go. That's better. Wow, manual focus. I must have knocked it, mustn't I? That's better. Okay, so yeah, so we've gone through a lot of these the tracks and kind of balanced them up a bit. So when you're doing mixing like this, it's important to get a rough mix in your head. And this is very repetitive because it's a jingle. If it was a song, it would be different because you'd listen to 3 or 4 minutes of a song, and you can go along and kind of tweak that as you're going along and that kind of thing. So, this was just a short, sharp example of using multi-tracks or stems as they are commonly known. So you bring in a stem to this particular mix, you do what you need to do to the stem, and then, you've then got the final mix sort of thing. So, what am I doing here? FHD, that's right. There we go. Okay, yeah, so that's the idea of that. We've messed around with the drum roll crash at the top, and we've taken off the end of it, so it tailed on too long. So I've folded that down, so it's got a longer fade on it, but it's a shorter thing, so it doesn't last as long as it did before. So it kind of starts here. We'll solo that up. Is it that one? Yeah, it's that one there, and then press that. So it fades out a lot quicker than it did before, which is cool. Now, what was that sparkle was giving us a bit of grief, wasn't it? Let me have a look here, see if I can find that again. Here we go. So let's solo that. Find it on the desk. Here it is, I got it. Okay, so here, have a listen to this. So now you see that you don't actually notice that harshness. It's not buzzing any more than it was because it's now in the mix of something else. Let's take off the drums. I can do it on the desk, and I don't know why I'm scrolling up and down. I can do it on the desk itself. Let's take that off solo and mute it, and then go back to here to the solo and press play. Have a listen again in its solo. Yeah, so there's not that. It's not actually buzzing anymore. It kind of sits as it's supposed to sit, which is interesting. That will get on your nerves. There you go, there's your lyrics. We know a jingle that'll get on your nerves, get on your nerves, get on your nerves. And you know, a jingle generally is meant to be something that is played between two songs. So, you know, we've been listening to it in solo, really, for the last 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so. But bearing in mind that the jingle works best between two songs or coming out of an ad break, a spot set, as the Americans would call it, or coming out of a news break or whatever it might be. So, you know, just bear that in mind, that when you hear a jingle like this over and over again, it used to drive my family nuts because I used to just, you know, I collect jingles and I used to play them to my family and friends, and they go, look, listen to this one. It's slightly different. And they go, no, it's not. It's exactly the same as the last one, Paul. Just stop it. And it used to drive them absolutely bonkers. But all good fun. And, you know, I wouldn't be doing what I was doing now if I wasn't interested in that kind of thing when I was kind of 13, 14, growing up and stuff. So, you know, I'm grateful for that time. Even though they didn't like it, it was still good. It was still good. Ina Reese Hansen's in the house from Denmark. Hello to you, Ina. Now, it must be getting colder where you are. It's definitely getting colder where we are. And you get more snow and ice up there where you are in Denmark than we do down here in the southwest of England. So, yeah, we're in for some cold weather. A bit of a cold snap. Don't think there's any snow in the forecast, but certainly some frosty nights and you know, a cold breeze as well, cold wind coming down from the north. So do let us know. Give us a thumbs up, because when you get snow, we kind of know that it's coming down from your direction. So give us a heads up if you do get any of the white stuff. All right, brilliant. So look here. So just making sure I caught up on all the comments so far. Yes, I have. That's fantastic. If you have any questions, by the way, told you snow's coming, says Rich. Yeah, well, you know, I debated that, didn't I? But, you know, you were right. So Rich is the new weatherman of the station. And yeah, it's over to Rich Vibes for the weather. And then the jingle comes in. There you go. You see, it could be weather jingle, couldn't it? And you know it's the weather, guys. So yeah, Rich Vibes telling the forecast. Thank you very much, Rich. And if it does, then I owe you a tenner, don't I? So, you know, we'll keep that bet. Rich says, see, it works. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. He looked into his tea leaves and predicted that there might be some snow on the way. Where did I hear that? I heard somebody say it. No snow in the forecast, but some might be on the way. Somebody said that, and I can't remember what. Who said that? Somebody said that recently, and I can't picture whether it was on the TV or. Oh, no, it was on the radio this afternoon. We have a presenter over here called Steve Wright, and he said, he was talking about the weather, and then he said, no snow's been mentioned in the forecast, but I've heard it's on its way. Yeah, but that might be November, December, January. Rich Vibes with Skywatch, says Wayne. Nice. I think that'll fit into the jingle. Maybe it will. Rich Vibes with Skywatch. Boom. Maybe. Who knows? So what else can we tell you? That's pretty much that. It's cold now in the morning. -3, says Ina. -3 Celsius. Good grief. Well, 0 Celsius is 50 Fahrenheit, so that's got to be what, 47, 46 Fahrenheit? So yeah, that's pretty cool. I am so cold. You saw me earlier on the countdown. I had my coat and hat on. Just even walking across from my apartment to the office here, it was cold. And I don't have the heating on overnight. It's on a timer, so it doesn't come on until like 6 o'clock in the morning. So it warms the office up before I come in and record my Zest Liverpool show. But yeah, I don't want it on overnight. It's pointless heating a huge, great place like this for no reason, and a tiny little heater lasting out. So yeah, it's on a timer, so we don't have to worry about that tonight. Wayne is laughing, which is good. That's what we like to see. So yeah, I've pretty much gone through what I need to go through. If you have any questions about how this kind of works, then do let me know, won't you? And be sure to give the video a thumbs up. That really helps the channel as well. And if you haven't yet subscribed, if you're watching this, some of the newcomers to the channel, thank you so much for subscribing. But yeah, if you are new and you haven't yet subscribed, make sure you do so. Click the bell icon, as I say. That lets you know when we go live next, which is normally every Monday night at 8 p.m. GMT, okay? And obviously that's going to be different for you around the world or whatever it might be. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it. I think what we can do is this.
It's the Jingle of the Week.
And we have one already made, don't we? Here it is. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for watching, and take care. Look after yourselves, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.